Bhante Dr. Chandima is the Associate Editor of the Journal of International Buddhist Studies, JIBS, which is published by the Buddhist Research Institute, Maha Chulalongkorn Rajavidayala University in Thailand. He was previously a research fellow at the Center of Studies in Religion and Society, CSRS, University of Victoria, Canada. Bhante Dr. Chandima was also a Theravada, Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver from 2012 to 2016. So Bhante is currently the senior advisor to Pattisota, a virtual Dharma organization that hosts a weekly online Pali reading class, as you can see earlier, a meditation class, sutta discussions, Dharma talks, and a variety of other Dharma activities. His Dharma works can be accessed via pattisota.blogspot.com. So, Bhante, all yours. Thank you. Have a good evening. Sadhu.
Thank you, Sister Monita. Good evening, Dharma friends. Welcome back. Today is going to be Sutta Discussions Day 38. So, before we get started, shall we pay respect to the Buddha? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tasse bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhasse. Namo tasse bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhasse. Namo tasse bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhasse. Today we are going to discuss about the third accomplishment, Chaga Sampada. I mean, if you could remember how we have been discussing about this dialogue about the sutta, PATTAKAMMA Sutta, there were 4 wishes which the Buddha said about the lay people. In order for lay people to come true, fulfill those wishes, they have to do additional 4 qualities. One quality is trust about the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. The second quality is what we call morality, to be disciplined. Third quality is chaga, which is what we are going to discuss today, chaga. Now, what is chaga? Now, actually, there are different people who might understand this idea of generosity in Buddhism in different ways. I would tell you something at the beginning. Dana, the Pali word dana, D long A N A. This is a generic word for the activity of being generous. Dana, give a dana. When you say be generous. But the inner quality of dana is chaga. Inner quality of that particular activity is called chaga. Now, when the Buddha was talking about the activity of dana, he encouraged people to think about the chaga quality. When you are doing any kind of dana activity, your heart should cultivate the chaga quality. Right? Dana is the generic word for the activity. Dana means giving. But different people can give different things in different ways, with different mindsets, in different thoughts, mental states. Chaga is the best mental state to do that dana. Whatever the dana, be it food offering or any other offering. So today we are going to discuss about what is this chaga. C long A G A. What is this chaga? How does someone practice chaga? Because this is the mental quality that we have to have when we are giving things to other people, when we are doing things to other people. But first of all, let's understand the Pali text about how the Buddha explained Chaga from the PATTAKAMMA Sutta. All right. See here. Katamacha Gahapati Chaga Sampadi. Chaga, Silonge, G. Chaga. So what is this? Sampada means accomplishment. That means we have to have a certain accomplishment in all these qualities, not just do one day and then do it another day. We have to accomplish. Now here we have to accomplish in Chaga. Now Chaga is being explained by the Buddha, further explained by the Buddha. Idagahampati, Arya Sav, noble disciple, that means even a lay person who is following the path. Now this is how a lay person can create Chaga in his dana practice. How to do it? Vigata, Mala, Mache rain. These three Pali words. Mache rain. We call it Macharya. This Pali word is called Macharya. Macharya. Now let me ask you, what is Macharya in Pali? Now we have two what you call impediments for being generous. Two impediments. I mean, those are impediments in terms of not being generous. One impediment is greed. G-R-E-E-D, greed. That means we are greedy. We are greedy, more or less. The second impediment is setback, is Macharya. Macharya means stinginess. Stinginess means you are not giving just because you are greedy, but because you do not like other people eat, drink, use what you are going to give. We call it stinginess or avarice, another English word. In Pali, we call it Macharya. Have you ever seen people who are not giving just because they don't like other people enjoy those stuff? There are such people. There were a lot of such people at the time of the Buddha. There was a man whose name was called Macharya Kosya. Macharya Kosya. Actually, I will leave that story to discuss at a later time today. But just want to tell you, in the first place, if somebody wants to, what you call, fulfill, accomplish the generosity, we call it the higher mental quality within the dana practice, we call it chaga. Chaga is the mental quality. Dana is the activity. Then that person has to, what you call, free his mind, her mind from machere. Machere means stinginess. 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 That person in the first place has to free his mind or her mind from machere. Machere na mala. Mala means, what does Pali mala? M-A-L-A. M-A-L-A. Mala. Mala means stain. S-T-A-I-N. Stain. Akusala qualities are stains. Right? Now, suppose your clothes are going to be stained. So you have to wash them properly. Now you are not worried about it. The only thing you will need is a good detergent and a good cycle of washing machines, programming. Otherwise, if the clothes are stained, you have to wash them, particularly focusing on that particular state. So in the Dhamma, akusala qualities are introduced as stains. They are stigmatizing. They are stigmatizing our spiritual life. Now here, macharya Macharya means what you call stinginess, is a stain. Now, in order for you to practice chaga, the higher quality of dana means chaga. This is the higher quality. There are people who do dana only. Yeah? They only do dana. They don't do chaga. They go and offer, they go back. But they don't know what is to be done in terms of the heart, in terms of the mental states. So chaga has to be developed while you are doing the dana. So in order for you to have this chaga quality of your dana activity, first of all, you have to free your mind from the stain of stinginess. All right, that's the first thing in the practice of chaga. Second, chetasa agarang ajhavasati. Now, further mental states need to be developed to keep the chaga quality in your dana practice. Agara means your house. Ajhavasati means live. Now, in addition to overcoming, freeing your mind from the stain of stinginess, you are going to, what you call, develop certain other small qualities. They are very important in terms of your dana chaga practice. The first one is mutta chagu. Mutta chagu. Chagu means what you call generosity, the higher quality of dana activity. Mutta means freely. You are freely generous. Mutta. Now I would like you to pay attention to a very famous Pali stanza. Can you remember this Pali, what you call phrase? Ladha mudha nibbutin bunjamana. Where do you find it? Ladha mudha nibbutin bunjamana. Can you remember? Where is it mentioned? Ladha mudha nibbutin bunjamana. Ladha mudha nibbutin bunjamana. Where do you find it? Ratana Sutta. Isn't it? Ratana Sutta. You are chanting every day probably. You are maybe listening to many monks chanting. What does this Ladha mudha nibbutin bunjamana means? Ladha means received. Mudha means freely. Nibbutin nibbana. Nibbana is free. Yeah? You don't have to pay for the nibbana. The Buddha says Ratana Sutta. Ladha mudha nibbutin bunjamana. By enjoying the nibbana which you got freely. Probably I'm going to show you the Ratana Sutta's. We'll take a look how it is mentioned. I want to say about the free, the translation of free. Right? Go to Ratana Sutta. All right. It's over here. Share this here. Okay. Ye suppa yutta manasa dalhe nikkamino gotama sasanami te patti patta amatang vigaya. This is the phrase. Ladha mudha nibbutin bunjamana. Those disciples of the Buddha who have attained at least Sotapanna at this point became Arahants. They have received the Nibbana. Mudha means freely, without paying any money. Bunjamana. They are enjoying the Nibbana that they have received freely. Now the connection to this what you call statement we are making today, what you call the interpretation of chaga, is that it says mutta. Mutta means freely. There are people who are generous, but they are not freely generous. How do we know those people? When they are giving something, they have to think a lot, what will happen to me when I give this? And, they have to think a lot. But what do you call here? They understand that their generosity has to be done freely, right? It has to be done freely. And then the second thing is Mutta Chaga means generosity, freely generous. Payatapani. Payatapani means, Payata means open, pani hand. Open hand. Open hand. That means it's not close-handed. That means always try to give something to other people. Like the Bodhisattvas, right? Bodhisattvas are trying to be generous at any time. But we cannot be that kind of generous sometimes, isn't it? We have to be very careful sometimes. But Bodhisattvas are practicing an extreme generosity. But here it says Payatapani. Payatapani means what you call open-handed. That means you are always available for the what you call generosity. And what you call once again over here, Mutta Chago means freely generous, and then Payatapani means open-handed. Then the third quality that you have to develop in order to practice Chaga is Vassagga Rato. Vassagga Rato. Vassagga means relinquishment. That means relinquishment. That means you are going to, another word for Chaga, that means giving up, relinquishing. Rato means that you are interested in giving all the time. Vassagga Rato. Vassagga Rato. Yacha Yoga. Yacha. Who is Yacha? Yacha means the people who are expecting things from other people who don't have money or whatever. Yacha means those beggars, maybe those poor people. So Yacha Yoga. That means you are eligible to be approached by those people. Those what you call people who really want something from others. This is another quality. So Mutta Chago, Payatapani, Vassagga Rato, Yacha. Now, finally, Dana Samvibhaga Rato. Now, these are two things. Rato means interested. Dana and Samvibhaga. Maybe I'm going to erase this part. See something over here? Dana and Samvibhaga. Dana Samvibhaga means, now there are things we can give to other people, but there are things we cannot give to other people. We can share those things, isn't it? Sometimes you have a very expensive thing in your house, so you cannot give to other people, and you cannot give permanently. So what you do is you are going to share that particular thing with other people. That means when you are practicing dana, you cannot always permanently give things to other people. There are things you cannot give, but you share. You share the things. Dana Samvibhaga. Let me write those words for you. Maybe I'm going to write them here. Dana. That means giving. Sometimes you cannot give. You can only Samvibhaga. Samvibhaga. Samvibhaga means sharing. 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 Dana and Samvibhaga. Right? I think it's a very clear thing that we cannot give everything that we have to other people. Let's say you have a machine. Other person cannot afford that thing. So other person can ask, Can I borrow your machine? Can I borrow this thing? So you're gonna share. So dana means you are not always supposed to give. If you cannot give it, you can share it, depending on your affordability, depending on how you're going to make that happen. All right, once again, let's go back how to practice chaga. Right, I'm going to erase those blue lines over here. Okay, first thing what you have to do is you are going to be free from stinginess. This is the first thing you have to do if you want to create chaga within your mindset. The second thing is mutta chaga. Number 2. Then payatakama. The fourth one is posaggaratu. The fifth one is yachayu. Seventh one is dana samvibhagaratu. Once again, let me explain to you. Vigata mala maccherena. Macchera means what we call stinginess. Mala means stain. Vigata means free. So free from the stain of maybe thoughts of stinginess. And then mutta chagu means freely generous. Mutta means freely. Chagu generous. Payatapani open-handed. Vasaggaratu. Vasagga means giving up, maybe relinquishing, delighting. You are interested about that. Yacha yoga means you are eligible for other poor people to approach. Dana samvibhagaratu means there are 2 ways to practice chaga. One is you mean giving things you can, and then you can share what you cannot give. This is called chaga sampada. Now, it is not just one day you are going to do this. You are supposed to keep this practice doing as much as you can. That is how you are going to accomplish. There are people who cannot accomplish this practice. They cannot accomplish saddha, trust. They cannot accomplish sila. They cannot accomplish chaga. They cannot accomplish panya. Why is it? They are not doing it constantly. They are not doing it seamlessly. They do it today in tremendous ways, and then they are forgetting about the practice. And then the stains are coming up. Whenever you are not engaged in kusala practices, then akusalas are automatically coming out. Right? More akusalas are coming out. Now, let's talk about the Pali word chaga once again. Now, how do we understand the Pali word chaga? In order to do it, I'm going to show you some notes for today, 38th day today. What is chaga? Why does it switch between chaga and dana? What is chaga? That's an interesting question. Now, there's a Pali verb for this, I would say. Chap jati. Chap jati. Chajati. Chajati means to give up. To give up. To give up. Chajati. But the Pali word dana means giving, not giving up. Giving. So these are 2 ideas. So, but chajati means that is chaga. That means the Pali word chaga says that this should be the internal quality that we must cultivate while we are giving something to somebody. What do you think about many people? There are people who are not giving to others. We're not talking about them. What about those who are giving? Do you think that they are giving with same intentions? Same quality of the mind? Are they? Now there's a Dhammapada story, somewhere I think at the end of Dhammapada. There is one man who was giving a very big dana every day. So people are asking, where is this house? He's giving dana to everybody. Then, quite often, people are lost. They are getting lost in finding this particular house. So they end up in knocking somebody else's house. And then they're asking, where is this house? So that man was openly saying, that is the house that you are looking for. Go and then eat something. So he was happily sharing the news of that dana. So people then go to that house, they are having the dana, they are eating some food, and they are going back. Now both of them pass away. The man who was giving dana, the one who is always showing people that this is their dana house. The man who showed the place to other people that this is the house, he was a better deva than the one who gave the dana. Interesting, huh? Now don't misunderstand that then we all have to just show how other people give dana. That is a misunderstanding. The problem was the man who showed the house for the dana, he had lots of happiness. Lots of what you call happiness which had no strings attached to that happiness. The man who gave the dana had a lot of strings attached to that. May I be reborn like this, may I do this and that. But that man was simply happy for other people. Hey, go and then eat something from that house. So he has cultivated his mind a lot than the person who was giving dana. That's why I sometimes think when somebody is giving dana, if that person has not cultivated that person's mind, then sometimes a person who is coming to that dana house and having some food, probably thinking, probably cultivating his soul or mind better than that person. It can be. So now the Pali word chaga means the higher quality that we have to cultivate while we are in a dana activity. That is how we have to understand. Many people are giving dana, even politicians are giving things to people, isn't it? But what are their ulterior motives? What are their hidden agendas? Was it to get some votes from the people? There are different people who are giving things to others. But as someone who understands the Buddha's true teachings, we have to always think that, am I practicing chaga while engaged in this particular dana activity? So the meaning of chaga is giving up. What's the meaning of chaga? Giving up. But in order for you to give up, you must give up. You have to give first. Dana. You are giving dana first. But after, or maybe before, during, after you giving dana, having given dana, planning to give dana, you have to give up strings attached to that particular dana activity. Because merits are complementary. They are complementary. If something is complementary, do you have to expect that in addition? I don't think. They are complementary. Now, there are people who think that we have to go to Vihara, give dana, and then to think about merits for the next life. Somebody gave them a wrong advice. Merits are complementary. If you do it with kusala thoughts, alobado samoha, that means what you call non-greed, non-hatred, and wisdom, they are complementary. If something is complementary, why do you have to worry about it? So chaga has to be understood as that higher quality that we have to cultivate while, before, after we are engaged with the dana activity. Now there are some exceptions, things that we have discussed about. Now, you know, what you call one of the wishes of a layperson was to be reborn in a better place. But in order to be reborn in a better place, you need lots of good karmas. But you are not engaged in any of those karmas just to be reborn in a better place. You are doing them properly. It's like a student who is preparing for the exam. There is one student who is saying that I could not prepare for the exam very well, so I think I better have a C plus, maybe the lowest letter grade. Because this student's only aim was to get a C plus, he or she might not end up with the C plus. He or she might end up way, way below that C plus. And that was the aim. Aim was C plus. Maybe there is another student who might think I studied a little bit. Maybe I'm expecting an A minus letter grade. But in the actual examination, simply because the student's aim was just to end up with A minus, he or she might end up most of the time way below that, because A minus was the target. And there is another student who might say, I don't need any particular letter grade. I prepare well for the exam. I do everything. I read well. I do the exam. I'm well prepared. He or she might end up with a high letter grade. There were no expectations. So when you are going to think about any dana activity, any sila activity, any meditation activity with a meritorious thought, I should get it, you might end up with lesser things, right? I mean, not to get whatever things, but meritorious part is compliment. Don't worry about it. What you have to worry is whether you can engage in the activity with kusala thoughts, wholesome thoughts. Say, for instance, you are going to give some food to people who need food. Then you are so much worried about whether they eat properly, whether they get to eat things that they like to eat. You are sacrificing, you are compromising your desires, your meritorious next life, your nibbana on somebody's difficult life. Merits are complementary. Once again, I repeat it. Don't need to worry about it. You worry about whether I can create wholesome thoughts, kusala thoughts in that activity. That process is jhana. Whether you can properly involve in a dana activity, whether you can properly involve in other, what you call skillful activity, is dana or is chaga. Especially chaga, not dana, chaga. Now, if you look at your dana activities in the past many years, you can think about how you did the dana activity. Did you do the dana activity with dana or chaga? You can do your self-checking, do your own, matching with your dana practice. So, chaga is very, very important, because chaga is the higher level of dana. That's why, although we understand this D long A NA as a practice, as the general practice, while we are in the dana, we must cultivate chaga. So that is called chaga. And then, so dana and chaga are two things. They are not one thing. Somebody might translate chaga also as generosity. But I would translate chaga to be giving up. What to give up? Lobha, dosa, moha. Dana is simple giving. Everybody can be generous. Starting from a politician, going down to a very difficult person. They all can give dana. But not everybody can do chaga. That's difficult task. That's the real part, to do the dana activity. How to do the chaga? By giving up the strings attached to this particular dana activity. Right? That is how you are going to make that happen. Not that ever since you are going to the grocery shop, you are thinking, may I get this thing in my next life? May I be like this in next life? And you are cooking now, may I be like this? By offering to Sangha, may I be like this? Coming to the Vihara thinking all the strings for the future, next life. And now offering, you are thinking all the strings are many, many strings. You are so much now complicated in your activity. Already you are messed up. And then now you are offering, going back, also how many more things can I make from this particular activity? You are trying to make an investment, right? Like in a bank. So the best thing is to think about that how I'm going to engage in this particular activity. Doesn't matter how much money I spend on the groceries. Doesn't matter how much time I'm going to spend on the activity, vihara. I want to give it properly. I want to give it to the level that they are happy in my affordability. And I'm happy, that's it. I'm not thinking about my meritorious part because merits are complementary. If something is complementary, I don't have to worry about it. Right? You don't have to. So chaga is that engaging in the activity of dana. Even sila, somebody might come to the vihara to take precepts, 8 precepts. The whole day I'm spending the time with 8 precepts, thinking that may this practice of 8 precepts give me all the strengths for the future. Right? At least we can accept that from a person who has nothing in this life. There are people who are very much living with so much difficulties in terms of food. Now just think about somebody has not even access to food that he or she wants. This person is hardly finding some money to give some dana to the monks, maybe to give something to some other person. He or she wants to make a wish. May I be able to have more food in my next life? I don't think it's a bad idea. Just look at it. Looking at that particular person's mental state, living standard, it should be okay. But not for the people who have enough food, who have everything, most of the stuff. Why are they going to do this thing? That means they do not understand the Pali word cha. But for those people, at least we can justify because they haven't had any access to even the basic needs in their life. Right? So anyways, chaga means giving up. Dana means giving. Chaga means giving up. So my suggestion to all of you is that do the both. Start from dana, end up with chaga. Dana, chaga. That is the way how you're going to do the generosity. Right? All right. Then the question here is, see, why does it switch between chaga and dana? Interesting, huh? The reason is, it is not switching between those two. It is because people don't understand what is dana, what is chaga separately. They take them as loose words. They think dana is also chaga, actually. They think so. But dana is not chaga, chaga is not dana. Dana is the generic activity. Chaga is the mental state that you have to bring to that dana. All right. Let's proceed from there. How do I practice chaga? That's what we discussed just now, right? How to practice chaga? Just think about it. Now, you should not have macharya, stinginess. Can we think about any stories of stingy people? Remember the story of the macharya Kosiya. There was a banker who one day wanted to eat some sweets, called them poopas. So he said to his wife, I want to eat poopas. Some sweets made from wheat flour. Then he was a controlling man. He said to the wife, we have to go to the 7th floor in this palace, and then we should not give any poopa to any sweet to anybody. You cook, I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna give you the rest, something like that. So they went upstairs, 7th floor. Now they are meeting. That day, the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, saw this man's very stingy idea. He asked Arahan Moggallan, you have a person to tame from his stinginess. Then he asked, who is that? There is a man called Kosiya. Today he is going to eat some poopas alone with so much stinginess. Maybe if you like, you can go there. You can tame him. You can make him a good Buddhist, good person. And then he went over there. He couldn't go by walking. So he was levitating parallel to the window of the 7th floor. And then now they are making, and they were making all the poopers. And then he saw. He was immediately very unhappy. A monk came in and then showing his arms bold at this time. He said, this is not nice. He said to him, even you are in the sky with an empty bowl, I'm not giving you any single poopers from. Then the Arahant Moggallana, with his powers, he was starting to emit some smoke. Then he thought, I think this is not nice. Maybe I can ask my wife to make a small pooper, very small one, and then give it to him and he will go. Then he asked the wife, can you make a very small one? So then she made a small pooper. She actually put it in the pan. It became the biggest, largest pooper in the pan. He was very unhappy. Then he asked the wife, then can you find a small pooper in the container which you already made? Then all the poopers got stuck together because of the power of Arahant Moggallana. Then he was very unhappy. He said, okay, give this whole container to him. Then he will go from here. We will make another bunch of poopers. Then Arahant Moggallana said, no, I'm not going to eat this. Bring all these poopers to the temple. Offer to the Sangha over there with the Buddha. And then finally, he and his wife went. Then the Buddha gave a Dhamma talk about stinginess, not greed, stinginess. Not giving because this person or maybe oneself doesn't like other people consume the food and other things. Stinginess. It's a very, very low quality, even compared to greed. It's a very low quality. If you look at some people, there are things that other people are achieving in their life. This person cannot achieve that thing just because he cannot achieve, she cannot achieve. They are so much jealous about it. So we have to practice a lot of mudita to understand. Mudita is connected to this dana activity in terms of Maccharya. So anyways, this is one very famous story about Maccharya, stinginess. So in order now, the question here is how to practice Chan, right? How do I practice? Now you are trying to practice Chan. How to practice Jaga? First of all, you have to overcome any thoughts of stinginess. I don't care about my participants, my recipients. I want to give. My only aim is to give. I don't care about the people. Right? Recently, somebody was asking me, there was a flyer that was circulated somewhere. It is said that if you offer to one Sotapanna, it is better than giving that dana to the humans. If you offer the dana to the Sakadagami, that is better than giving dana to the Sotapanna. If you offer to the Anagami, one Anagami person, that dana is higher than offering to the Sakadagami. If you offer to the Arahant, then that dana is higher than offering to the Anagami. If you offer to the Pacceka Buddha, one Pacceka Buddha, that dana is higher than the offering that same dana to an Arahant. If you offer to the Buddha, that is better than offering to the Pacceka Buddha. If you offer to the Sangha, four types of Sangha with the Buddha, that is higher than giving the dana to one Buddha. And asking me, how do I understand? I said, don't worry don't find the recipients. Whenever the opportunity arises, go and give dana. You don't find the virtuous people because this is your intentions. You might be near a vihara, go and give dana to the monks over there. Don't think there are better monks, there are better people. What are you doing there? You have strings attached, you are doing dana, you are not doing charge. Wherever the people, wherever the monks, wherever the people you want to give dana to, making it a charm. Don't cherry pick anybody because then you are trying to make your dana just because of other person's qualities. You have to purify by creating charm. And then the person asked me, then why did the Buddha say this Dhamma talk? Why he said giving this person is better than this person? He said, uh, giving some food to animals leads to 100,000 lifetime merits. You give some food to a dog, and then giving that dog some food will create some merits that will come after you for 100,000 lifetime. And then giving some food, the same food, to an immoral person, human being, is better than giving the food to the animal. Then I said, then you don't give any food to any dogs from today, because it's better to give food to the immoral person from today. Because I said, whenever you see any animal, if you want to give to that animal, maybe a cat or dog. So the idea here is, this is a rough idea. Somebody has to understand the quality of other beings. Not that you have to streamline your dana practice, better people, higher people, better people. Whenever the opportunity arises, it might be a dog, it might be an animal, it might be an immoral person, it might be anagami, whoever. You don't care about it. We are being generous about it. That is the charm. So now you are not concerned about the participant. You are concerned about whether I can involve in that dana activity with chaga thoughts. Aloba adosa. That is your only thought. That is how you're going to be practicing chaga. What are the other things you have to practice in terms of bringing your dana to chaga? Let's go and see again. No macharya. Then mutta chago means that you are very generous. Very generous. I have seen such people. Very generous people. Whenever other people say we don't have something, they try to give whatever they have. Very generous. And then the third thing is payatapani, open-handed, not closing, open-handed. Always try to lend a hand to other people. I mean, don't misunderstand. This means that you have to distribute everything you have. Keep some money, keep something for you, but by keeping your sustenance, your living, you also going to be concerned about how other people live. You have a very compassionate heart about it, without putting you in danger, but open-handed, not close-handed. And vasaggarato, you are always not trying to accumulate. You are going to release, relinquish what you have. Relinquish. How you can relinquish the stuff? How you can relinquish what you have? You're going to relinquish the thoughts about accumulating unnecessary things. Right? Many years ago, when you go to a shop, you really thought you would like to buy things to your house, but they are not very necessary items to your house, but you bought them to your house. And you were hoarding, you're piling up the stuff in the house. After many years, now you cannot remove them. You had so much thinking about those things. I hardly bought these things. I cannot easily now give away those things. Then house has become a place of unnecessary things, stockpiling, and then hoarding, right? It's very difficult. But when you learn some Dhamma thing like chaga, you are learning to practice, no, I'm not going to buy unnecessary things. I will go for shopping. But I am going to think about how to buy things wisely. I'm not going to be a victim to the marketing culture, the corporate culture. I can think about what the corporate culture is trying to play on me. I can think about what the marketing culture, what the this culture, the buying culture, selling culture, trying to sell to us. You're going to be a wise person in terms of the things. So you are practicing giving, releasing, relinquishing, rather than trying to, hey, what can I get? What can I get? What can I bring my house? What can I bring my home from this place? You are practicing that. And then, Yacha Yoga. What do you think about the people who are trying to pester other people sometimes? Hey, give something to me. I'm super broke today. I have nothing to eat. You understand the situation. You understand the place. At the same time, when the people are coming to ask help, you are open-handedly helping them as much as you can without risking your life, without risking other things. And then finally, the most important thing in developing your thoughts to Chaga is Dana Samvibhagarato. I said Dana means simple. Giving, that means giving up also part of. Samvibhagarato means sharing. Not you cannot give everything because there are things you cannot give. You have to keep them. You are going to share those things with other people. Right? So this is how you are going to practice Chaga. Make sense? Is it clear to you? This is how you are going to practice Chaga. Chaga is not Dana, okay? Dana is the general activity, the general term for the whole activity. But inside that Dana activity, you have to cultivate your mental states to the level of Chaga. All right, let's see the other points over here. How can you successfully practice generosity? That means Chaga, right? Because today's topic is accomplishment of Chaga. How to successfully practice? We might sometimes practice. What are the problems that many people are facing in Dana practice, especially when it comes to Chaga? Can you think about any problems? Giving Dana and then not being able to give up at the end of the Dana can be a problem, isn't it? Sometimes there are people who are giving Dana, maybe they are bringing some food to give, but in the middle of the Dana, they think about, I forgot to bring this container. Maybe that thing, maybe they are not happy about what they are doing exactly. Maybe they forgot about some dishes in the house. Maybe they forgot about what to bring. So that is one thing. The second thing is the way how they expected Dana to happen during the activity. So whatever remorse, whatever repentance, regret that will arise as a result of not understanding the activity will bother in making Dana activity to the Chaga level. There are many other problems with regard to Dana. Many examples as well, many stories as well. So what I can say as a summary is that always try to think that you are going to purify your thoughts before, you are going to purify your thoughts during, you are going to purify your thoughts after. This is a teaching given by the Buddha. When anybody who wants to give a Dana, who wants to give anything to anybody, be that a monk or a lay person, you need to think that you are going to what you call have thoughts that are free from the greed, hatred, and delusion. That's the most important thing. Try to do it actually as much as you can. All right, that's how you are going to do that. That is how you are going to successfully practice the Chaga practice. Why is Chaga the quality of the mind in offering, whereas Dana is the primary activity? It is because Chaga is the mental state that you need to create all the time. Dana is the generic activity. And then on the other hand, what does it mean to have accomplished success in Dana? That means you have to bring your Dana activity to the Chaga level. That is the success. That is how you are going to accomplish in your dana activity. Why are certain donors able to complete dana but not chaga? What are the reasons of why they cannot go to the chaga level? It is because of the issue that they cannot free their mind from lobha, dosa, and more. All right, I think that's pretty much everything for this particular topic, accomplishment in chaga activity. We would take some questions at this point. I think with the weather condition here, I would apologize to wind this up at this point. We are having a lot of lightnings over here. So sorry about the situation, the weather condition. Please keep your questions for next time. There's a lot of lightnings happening over here. Sorry about that. Apologize to the time. Thank you, everybody. I'll be seeing you next time with this situation. Sorry about that. Good night, everyone.